Okay, the concept in this class is data reconstruction. Why we go with the concept of data reconstruction and what is meant by reconstruction of data? Okay, so in our systems, any system can be controlled by two ways: either discrete, you can control system with the discrete controllers or digital controllers, or with the analog controllers. In our subject we are controlling the system with a digital controllers, right? Okay, so we are controlling our system with the help of digital controllers. In that digital controller our data is converted into the analog form to the digital form, right? So we have a system, whatever it may be, any system. We have a system. Okay, there is a need to control the system to achieve our desired response or performance. Okay, to get our described output we have to control our system. There are two possibilities of controllers. They may be analog controllers or digital or discrete controllers, whatever it may be. Okay, so our subject is about the discrete controllers. If it is an analog controller, the input is analog signal, and the we have we are using a controller here. A controller here. Input of the controller is analog. Output of the controller is also analog form. That analog signal is sent to our system, which controls the performance of the system. But here we using a digital controllers or discrete controllers. The input of the discrete controllers are the digital, and the output is also digital. Okay, but actual available signals from the system are analog signals. So this analog signal is converted to the digital signal with help of analog to digital converters. Okay, and again the output of the digital controller is also digital, but you have to convert this digital signal into the analog signal. That analog signal is fed to our system. Okay, so here we are converting the analog data into the digital data initially, or discrete data initially. Next, this discrete data into the analog data again. This analog data is sent to our system to obtain our desired output. Okay, so here we are converting our analog signals into the discrete signals with the help of sampling process, or with the help of samplers. Okay, but again we have to convert this discrete signal into the analog signal. That procedure is called as data reconstruction. Okay, so data reconstruction, our concept, the present concept is data reconstruction. So in the concept of data reconstruction, in the concept of data reconstruction, we are converting our discrete data into the analog data. That analog data is sent to our system. Okay, so actually we have an analog signal like this. Okay, this analog signal is converted as a discrete signal like this. Okay, so the process of converting this analog signal into the discrete signal is called as sampling, right? Sampling process is very easy. Sampling process is nothing but extracting the signal at prescribed intervals of time only, at prescribed instants of time only, some t, 2t, 3t, 4t, 5t, and so on and so on. Okay, so here we are converting the analog signal into the discrete signal by extracting whatever the data available at prescribed intervals of time period. Okay, so by using this discrete data, our digital controller will work. Okay, our digital controller will work with this discrete data, and this digital controller also produces the output signal. This output signal is also in the discrete mannerism. Okay, so the output of the digital controller is also a discrete data. Okay, this discrete data can't understand our system. Okay, we have a system. This is system understanding language is the analog language. So you have to again reconstruct this signal, analog signal, from this available discrete signal. We don't have complete information in the discrete signal. In discrete signal, the information is available at certain instance of time, t, 2t, 3t, some kt, and so on, some infinite. Okay, the information is available at some instance only. Okay, by using this information, you have to reconstruct an analog signal. You have to construct an analog signal. This analog signal will go to the system and do the some operations to produce our desired output in the system. Okay, so there is a need to produce an analog signal with the available discrete data. Okay, so that process is called as data reconstruction. So this data reconstruction procedure is somewhat difficult because of we don't have a complete information regarding the signal. Okay, the information is available at some instance, some prescribed instance of time intervals only. Okay, so by using this prescribed intervals time data, we have to construct an analog signal. Okay, that procedure is called as data reconstruction. Okay, the need of data reconstruction is to control our system. Okay, to control our system we need a signal. That signal is in the form of analog, but the output of the controller is the discrete data. The discrete data doesn't understand our system, so we are converting this discrete data into its equivalent analog signal to change the performance of our system. Okay, so let us see how we can produce the data. Okay, how we can produce the analog signal with a discrete signal. Okay, that procedure is called as data reconstruction. Okay, let us see how can we produce an analog signal. Okay, go to the PDF. Okay, so the most of the control systems have analog controlled processes which are inherently driven by the analog inputs. Generally, most of the systems are controlled with the analog signals. Okay, thus the output of a digital controller should first be converted into the analog signal before being applied to the system. But if you use a digital controller to control the system performance, this digital controller initially produces a digital information. Okay, that a digital information we can't apply directly to our system because of the system doesn't, our plant doesn't understand this discrete data. Okay, so another way to look at the problem is that the higher frequency components of f of t should be removed before applying to the analog devices. So one thing is this the output of the controller doesn't understand our system, and the output of the controller having also some higher frequency components. These higher frequency components also you have to eliminate. Okay, so the main thing of data reconstruction is to convert the discrete data into the analog data. This analog data is understandable language of our system or plant, and the output of the digital controller having some higher frequency components. These higher frequency components can't directly apply to our analog devices. Okay, so we can use a low pass filter or data reconstruction reconstruction device is necessary to perform this operation. Okay, so we have to use a data reconstruction device or low pass filter to reconstruct the data from discrete nature to the analog nature and to eliminate these high frequency components. So in the place of data reconstructor, we use a data reconstruction device or a low pass filter. Okay. So in control systems, hold operation becomes the most popular way of reconstruction due to its simplicity and low cost. We have several devices to reconstruct the data, but in our digital control systems, we use a hold operation. The hold operation is the most popular way of reconstruction of data due to its simplicity and low cost. Okay. Problem of data reconstruction can be formulated as given a sequence of numbers f of 0, f of t, f of 2t, f of kt and so on. Okay, actually if you take any analog signal, I am taking some analog signal like this. Okay, this analog signal is continuous time varying signal f of t. Okay, if it is sampled, okay, the continuous signal is sampled before applying to our digital controller. Because of this analog signal is doesn't understand by our digital controller. Okay, if you sample, if you apply the sampler, we get the signal as like this. Okay, so this is some f of 0 instant, f of t instant, f of 2t instant, and so on f of kt instant, and so on infinite. So the information is available at the instant of 0, at the instant of t, at the instant of 2t, at the instant of 3t, at the instant of kt, and so on and so on. Okay, so the function f of t is only exist for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, is to be reconstructed from the information contains in the sequence. Okay, from t greater than 0 to infinite, the data is available at the instant of 0, t, 2t, 3t, some and so on, kt only. Okay, so we have to reconstruct the signal based upon the informations available at this instant only. So that is the problem in data reconstruction. Okay, we have to design a new signal based upon the informations available at some prescribed instance of durations only. Okay, so let us see how to reconstruct this data. Okay, so the the data reconstruction process may be regarded as an extrapolation process since the continuous data signal has to be formed based on the information available at past sampling instance. Okay, so here we have to reconstruct an analog signal depending upon the data available at the past sampling instance. So this process is called as extrapolation. Extrapolation is the procedure of finding the value of the signal, future value of the signal, depending upon past information available. So here also we are constructing a signal. The future of the signal is depending upon past sampling instance of the signal. So that's why this procedure is called as extrapolation process. Extrapolation process is nothing but it is a process of finding the future magnitude of the signal depending upon past magnitudes of the signal. Okay, suppose the original signal f of t between two consecutive sampling instants kt and k plus 1t is to be estimated based upon the value of f of t at previous instance of kt and k minus 1t and k minus 2t and so on 0. Okay, we have to estimate the signal f of t in between the instance kt to k plus 1t depending upon the data at kt, k minus 1t, k minus 2t and so on 0. Okay, Okay, so this is called as extrapolation process. Okay, so in this extrapolation process, we use a power series expansion. Power series expansion method is the well-known method of generating the desired approximation, which is yield. Okay, so the most popular method is power series expansion method to extrapolate the information at our required instant of time. And the basic formula in power series expansion is f of kt is equal to, so this is the basic representation of our power series expansion. Okay, so the power series expansion representation as f of kt is equal to, sorry, f suffix k of t is equal to f of kt plus f dash kt, means derivative of f of kt. Okay, f dash kt into t minus kt plus double derivation of f of kt, f square, double derivation of f of kt divided by 2 factorial into t minus kt whole square plus and so on, plus and so on, and so on, f power n kt divided by n factorial into t minus kt whole power n. Okay, so the expression as like this: f of fk of t is equal to f of kt plus derivative of f of kt into t minus kt plus a double derivative of f of kt divided by 2 factorial into t minus kt whole square plus and so on, f nth derivative of f of kt, nth derivative of f of kt divided by n factorial into t minus kt whole power n. Okay, so where f of kt is equal to f of t for kt is less than or equal to t less than or equal to k plus 1 into t, and the formula for f n kt. Okay, nth derivative of f of kt is nth derivative of f of kt at t is equal to kt for n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, so this is derivative representation. Nth derivative of f of n power f power n kt is equal to nth derivative of dn by dtn into f of t at t is equal to kt. Okay, so next let us find, since the only available information about f of t is the magnitude at the sampling instance. We know the information is available, or the information of signal f of t is available at the sampling instance only. The derivative of f of t must be estimated from f of kt. So the first derivative f dash kt is equal to 1 by t into f of kt minus f of k minus 1 into t. Similarly, second derivative f double dash or f square kt is equal to 1 by t into f dash of kt minus f dash of k minus 1 into t. These are the basic formulas. Okay. Similarly, the f dash of k minus 1 into t as 1 by t into f of k minus 1 into t minus f of k minus 2 into t. The derivative at any instant is equal to derivative of our function at any instant is equal to 1 by t into that function minus previous instant f of k minus 1. Present instant is f of k minus 1 into t. Derivative of f of k minus 1 into t as 1 by t into f of k minus 1 into t minus its past in previous instant f of k minus 2 into t. Here also derivative of f of kt is equal to 1 by t into f of kt minus f of k minus 1 into t. Double derivative of f of kt here also 1 by t into first derivative of f of kt minus first derivative of f of k minus 1 into t. Okay, these are the formulas to find derivative of f of kt, double derivative of f of kt, or derivative of k minus 1 into t, whatever it may be. Basic formula is 1 by t into that function minus ఏ ఫంక్షన్ కి అయితే మనం డెరివేటివ్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటున్నామో దట్ ఫంక్షన్ మైనస్ దాని ముందున్న ఇన్స్టెంట్ f of k minus 1. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది బేసిక్ ఫార్ములాస్. ఈ సిరీస్ ని మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలమ్మా, ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. సిరీస్ పవర్ సిరీస్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ ఈస్ fk of t is equal to f of kt plus derivative of kt into t minus kt plus double derivative of kt f of kt by 2 factorial into t minus kt whole square plus and so on nth derivative of f of kt divided by n factorial into t minus kt whole power n. Okay, how can you find this f dash of kt, derivative of f of kt? So the first derivative of f of kt formula is 1 by t into f of kt minus f of k minus 1 into t. Second derivative of f of kt is 1 by t into first derivative of f of kt minus first derivative of f of k minus 1 into t. And first derivative of f of k minus 1 into t as 1 by t into f of k minus 1 into t minus f of k minus 2 into t. ఒకసారి మీరు చూస్తే ఇవి అర్థమవుతాయి. జస్ట్ యూ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ ఆన్ 2 minutes. ఒక 2 minutes మీరు చూస్తే ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ మీకు గుర్తుండిపోతాయమ్మా. అండ్ మనం జనరల్ గా యూస్ చేసేది ఓకే, ఈ డేటా రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ప్రొసీజర్ లో మనం పవర్ సిరీస్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ మెథడ్ ని యూస్ చేస్తాము. ఈ పవర్ సిరీస్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ మెథడ్ లో డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ ది నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టర్మ్స్ we are consider. So here మీకు this power series expansion consisting of first term, second term, third term, and so on n terms. Depending upon the number of terms we are considering, we can name it as zero order hold, first order hold, second order hold, third order hold. This data reconstruction procedure consisting of mainly we are using hold operation. We already said that. Okay, depending upon the number of terms we are used from this power series expansion, that reconstruction procedure can be named as either zero order hold, first order hold, second order hold, or nth order hold. But there is a difficulty in increasing the terms. Okay, by increasing these terms it is very difficult to reconstruct. Okay, the formula, the expression should be heavier, and simplification of that expression should also be heavier. Okay, so for simplicity purpose you just use a zero order hold. By using zero order hold function you can reconstruct our data very easily. If the terms in our power series expansion is goes on increasing, okay, the mathematical extrapolation of data reconstruction is also very difficult because of increasing the number of terms in the power series expansion. Okay, so the first thing of reconstruction of data, first method in data reconstruction is zero order hold. So in zero order hold, we are taking the first term of the power expansion only. If you take two terms, that is called as first order hold. If you take three terms, that is second order hold. If you take n terms, that is n minus one order hold. Okay, our syllabus consisting of only zero order hold. Okay, higher the order of the derivatives to be estimated is, larger will be the number of delayed pulses required, since the time delay degrades the stability of the closed loop control system. Using higher order derivatives of f of t for more accurate construction often causes serious stability of the problem. Moreover, a higher order extrapolation requires complex circuitry and results in high cost. So if you use a higher order extrapolation terms, then the circuitry is also very high and the cost of designing is also very high. Okay, so for above reasons, use only the first term in the power series to approximate f of t during the time intervals k of t is less than or equal to, kt is less than or equal to t less than or equal to k plus 1 into t is very popular, and the device for this type of extrapolation is known as zero order extrapolation or zero order hold. Okay, so the zero order hold is nothing but which is extracted from our power series pattern. In power series extrapolation process, you just take the first one term only. That extrapolation procedure is called as zero order hold, because of if you increase the number of terms in power series expansion, the circuit can be complexity and the cost is also high. Okay, and it will cause the stability problems also. Okay, that's why we go with the concept of zero order hold. In zero order hold, we can take only the first term of our power series expansion only. Okay, it holds the value of f of kt for t value is in between kt to k plus 1 into t until the next sample f of k plus 1 into t. In this zero order hold, the function f of kt holds the value from kt to k plus 1 into t until the next sample happens f of k plus 1 into t. Okay, so this zero order hold makes the value of f of t as f of kt during this instant of time until the next sampling of f of k plus 1 t into arrives. If f of k plus 1 in k plus 1 into t happens, it maintains the another value, it holds the another value until the next instant f of k plus 1 into k plus 2 into t. Okay, here see, this is our analog signal, but it can produce as it holds the zero value up to this instant. It holds some point 5 value up to this instant. Okay, this is, take the pen. Okay, so this is the zero instant, this is some first instant, this is second instant, this is third instant. So it holds the value as this thing up to this instant. Okay, some kt instant, this is k plus 1 into t instant. Okay, some kt to k plus 1 into t, it holds this magnitude. From k plus 1 into t to k plus 2 into t, it holds this magnitude. Some k plus 2 into t to k plus 3 into t, it holds this magnitude. So it holds this magnitude during these intervals of period. Okay, next we can extrapolate or we can reconstruct the data by mapping these values, these holding values. Okay, so next see the mathematical representation. The accuracy of zero order hold depends depending upon the sampling frequency. When t is equal to 0, the output of ZOH approaches the continuous time signal. Zero order hold is a gain linear device which satisfies the principle of superposition. The zero order hold satisfies the principle of superposition. So this is the representation, a constant pulse. Okay, these pulses magnitudes can be varying continuously. Impulse representation of ZOH. From this impulse representation of ZOH, we can find the uh, transfer function of our zero order hold. Okay, so the impulse response of ZOH is shown in above figure. How can you represent this pulse signal? By using our unit step signals. Okay, zero order hold, the time response of, okay, here we have a pulse signal, right? This pulse signal as shown in the figure. This is t, this is 0, this is time axis, and this is magnitude axis. Magnitude value is 1. Okay, so this pulse signal is, it can be represented as zero order hold signal is equal to u of t, us of t, constant pulse signal, constant step signal minus delayed step signal at instant of t. This is us of t. This is us of t minus capital T. If you subtract the second signal from first signal, 1 minus 2, you get this signal. Okay, so the mathematical representation is also us of t minus us of t minus uh, us of t minus capital T, right? Next, just you apply the Laplace transform. Laplace transform of this thing is zero order hold GHO of S. Laplace transform means S domains. S is equal to Laplace transform of unit step signal is 1 by S, and the Laplace transform of delayed unit step signal is e power minus st or minus ts divided by s. Take 1 by s as common thing. 1 by s as common thing. 1 minus e power minus ts. Or you can represent it as 1 minus e power minus ts divided by s. Okay. So the transfer function of zero order hold, you remember this formula. This formula will repeat until the last unit. Okay. Transfer function of zero order hold ZOH is equal to 1 minus e power minus ts divided by s. Okay, let us convert this as into the frequency domains by substituting s is equal to j omega in the above equation. Then we get g h naught of j omega is equal to 1 minus e power minus j omega t. In s place we substitute j omega divided by j omega. Okay, again it can be represented as the trigonometric forms by take the common as e power minus j omega t by 2 from this expression. Okay, so the trigonometric representation of our zero order hold is t into sine omega t by t divided by omega t by 2 sine omega t by 2 divided by omega t by 2 into e power minus j omega t by 2. Okay, where t is equal to the sampling time period 2 pi by omega s. Okay, where t is equal to the sampling time 2 pi by omega s. Okay, and the transfer function in frequency domain g h naught of j omega is equal to t place lo substitute 2 pi by omega s, 2 pi by omega s into sine pi omega by omega s divided by pi omega by omega s into e power minus j pi omega by omega s. Let us represent the magnitude value. Magnitude value is 2 pi by omega s into magnitude of this sine, this expression. Okay, and phase value is angle of sine pi omega by omega s minus pi omega divided by omega s. So this is the transfer function of our zero order hold. You remember this formula. Transfer function of zero order hold is always 1 minus e power minus ts divided by s, or 1 minus e power minus j omega t divided by j omega. Okay, so this is about the data reconstruction process. Okay, in our syllabus we have ZOH only, zero order hold only. We have first order hold, second order hold, and nth order holds also. Okay, but those are not included in our syllabus. ఇక్కడ మీకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కి ఫస్ట్ ఆర్డర్ హోల్డ్ కూడా ఇచ్చారమ్మా, ఇది ఒకసారి చూడండి. మీకు దానికి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఎలా వస్తుంది. The transfer function of first order hold should be like this: 1 plus ts divided by t into 1 minus e power minus ts divided by s whole square. Okay, అలా వస్తుంది అన్నమాట. This is about the data reconstruction procedure by using zero order hold. ఈ zero order hold బ్లాక్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ వచ్చింది కదమ్మా మీకు. ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ జీరో ఆర్డర్ హోల్డ్ 1 మైనస్ e పవర్ ts divided by s బ్లాక్ ని కనుక యూస్ చేస్తే మనం ZOH టెక్నిక్ ని యూస్ చేసి డేటాని రీకన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. మీన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ అవర్ analog data into the, sorry, discrete data into the analog data by using this Z2H